Hello, everyone. Good evening and happy new year to you. I hope you're doing great and you are actually doing fine. You are actually having a very fantastic new year. Welcome to our today's broadcast. This is the Alternative Voice. My name is MILLICENT and I will be your host tonight. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We welcome you back. I'm really excited to host this show tonight. It is our first show this year. And guys, I just want to encourage you to stay tuned this year because we have beautiful and exciting shows for you. So, guys, stay tuned. Now, tonight we are talking about mental health in this COVID-19 pandemic. Guys, we are just starting a new year and we want to be physically and mentally fit. We want to take care of our emotions. We want to take care of our feelings, our thoughts, our moods. And that's why the Alternative Voice team, we have organized a show for you today so that we can bring a psychologist and a lifestyle trainer, Mr. Peter NGURE, who is going to teach us and educate us more on this matter. We want to get prepared for this year. We don't want those stresses for last year. The pandemic is still here with us, and we just have to deal with it. Welcome to our today's show. Hi, Mr. Peter.
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Yeah.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, are you excited to be with us tonight?
So much excited.
All right, thank you so much. We're also excited to have you tonight. And our viewers are very ready. This is our first show this year, and we are ready to get prepared mentally for this year, 2021. Yeah, so please introduce yourself, Mr. Peter.
Thank you. My name is Peter NGURE. My background is counseling psychology. I do a lot of counseling, but also a lot of life skills training and a lot of team buildings. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. We are so excited. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, and we are looking forward to have a very engaging session with you. Yeah, so guys, I just want you to share everything that you are having, your questions at the comment section, your thoughts, your comments. Our guest tonight is ready to answer all our questions. Mental health during this COVID-19 pandemic is our topic tonight. Now, Mr. Peter, speaking about mental health and the stuff, please just tell us what is mental health and why would we even care in the first place about our overall health and well-being?
As you know, we talk about health being a state of well-being. That is physically, emotionally, economically, all the spheres of your life. You have to be well, and mental is one of the spheres of your life. So basically, the mental health, as defined, we talk about psychological. When you're talking about mental health, we talk about psychological. That is mostly about the thinking patterns, the emotional, and the social well-being. So when you look at the three, how it affects a person, it is how you think, psychological. Do you think positively? Do you think negatively? Are you full of self-defeating thoughts? Then how you feel, because after your thoughts, then they will affect how you feel. So the feeling aspect comes in, and then after the feeling aspect, then how you act. Now the behavioral component comes in. So that is why your action, we can trace the action back to your emotions and back to your mind. That is the mental. That is why we should also be healthy when it comes to the mental health.
Wow, thank you so much for that. And now, during this time of COVID, I mean, we've got a lot of youth. So in many times you will just be relating your responses to a life of youth, because it's youths who have suffered a lot of mental distress, especially in this duration. You agree with me, Mr. Peter?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
I agree
yeah,
with
yeah.
you. Actually, we are going to look at it all rounded because the youth, it actually includes all the stages of life, from childhood, adolescent, and adulthood.
And that's
So
going to be
basically, we're on the
really
same
cool.
page. Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
going to be really cool. Now, please just expound for us the impact of this pandemic on mental health. Yeah, just from the way you've said, I mean, from to the children, impact to the children, to the youth, school going students, and to even adults, big ones, people who are working. Some of the impacts.
True.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I'll focus. There are so many impacts that came, especially even from our mainstream media, from
Yes.
observations, and hello, you can hear me?
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
the
yes.
impacts of the impacts of COVID-19 on mental health has been so great and so grave. Uh, when we look at the children, because I want to start with the children, in children, there has been worry, anxiety, and fear. Fear of death or losing a, a loved one. There was also elevated stress, even among the children, because they're at home. Children getting into unhealthy relationships after the schools were closed down in March. Remember, after the schools were closed down, all the children went home. A few months down the line, there was upsurge in terms of teenage pregnancy and so on. And everybody was blaming each other. It's the parents, it's the school. So that became a very big impact. Alcoholism among teenagers and adults. You can recall that there were so many young adults or teenagers who were caught in a house. 43 of them taking alcohol. There was alcohol, there was bang, there were condoms that were caught. It was in the mainstream media. All this came during this COVID-19. Uh, Also, due to this drug that they were using, generally there is misbehavior, general misbehavior, e.g., teenage sex causing teenage pregnancy, a lot of teenage pregnancies, and that is what up to now they have gone back to school, but we're still talking about those effects because most of them were pregnant. We're looking at children running away from home. We have had cases where children left their home and went away. And we need to know why did they run away from home? Why did they start finding that their friends, people who are using drugs or doing other things, they were more comfortable to live with them more than live with the parents? Again, we look at the effect of how our parents were affected by the COVID. Until now, it went down to the teenagers. I would also want to look at at parents. Most of the parents, most of people lost their jobs, loss of income. And with this loss of income, brought a lot of stress with it. Some going back to the countryside, in Sheng unasemaga wazazi kurudi ocha, si ndio? And some
Yeah.
children were even taken back to go to Shago to go and live with their parents, with their grandparents. Again, that is an environment that they are not used to. They will be there all that time. So again, that is another stressor to those children. We saw fears among the parents. Again, just like their children, they were fear of death. Most of the people they feared they would die out of the COVID-19. After reports outside the country, we had in China they were closing down because of deaths. In UK, things were happening. Italy was the worst affected. All these were coming in and they were bringing fears, and people were wondering, are we going to lose our loved one, or are we going to lose ourselves? So that was actually witnessed. Divorce and separation. This became a big issue. There was no money among most of the families. So Again, people staying together the whole day, it was an issue. Divorce and separation also, this brought a lot of people taking alcohol. You saw when the police were doing rounds, even at night, they would catch parents in bars, people who understand rules and they know rules and they know they're supposed to be at home with their parents and their children, but they were caught where? In bars, even after the curfew hours. So you can see actually people even affected to stay at home with their wives and with their children. Uh, Gender-based violence was the big thing that was in the mainstream media. Gender-based violence. Actually, it was highlighted from March all the way. The cases that were mostly reported were assault and gender-based violence. This was happening again from a point of view where now parents have issues. We both don't have work. The children are here, and a lot of things were happening. So all this actually now affected even now the children. As we go back, you will see why the children were affected the way they were affected. Because if the parents are fighting at home, do you think the kids are not affected in terms of mental health? They are also affected. And they take up violence, and that is what they take even to school. You're going to look at it later. Okay. Loss of income and jobs, also household security for food. The issues to do with food was a big one. You see, even the government was donating food, organizations were donating food. You see even people fighting and scrambling for food, like the case that happened in Kibera, where people almost killed each other because of food. So it looked like there was a real stressor coming in. Increased alcohol intake among the adults, I had talked about that, but it also increased even among the ladies, because if I focused more on men, it also increased among the ladies because they're also stressed. Overly, there was an increase of mental health issues. And when you look at it, it was not as highlighted or taken up as the other issues were taken up by the mainstream media. They actually did not bring out the issues of the mental health as they were supposed to be brought out. And that's why you're having this discussion today. Because the next epidemic after Corona, the next big thing that is going to come and affect our country is what you're talking about, the mental health problems. As I talk about that, remember we only have one psychiatric hospital in Kenya. You know that. It's called what? Madari. People call it Madare. Madare. I actually grew up in Madare slum, so it is not Madare, it is Madari Hospital. So it is only one. And when you look at Madari Hospital, which is the only facility in Kenya, where one nurse handles 150 patients. So you can see how we are doing badly under the shortage of the mental health professionals. In terms of psychiatrists, we only have like 100 psychiatrists out of 45 million in terms of population. So about the mental health issue is something that we need to deal with. It is actually neglected, but we are hoping that as we continue to talk about it, it's going. The government is going to take it up. In terms of the budget, in terms of health, when other things are budgeted, other diseases or other sicknesses or other diseases, it's only 0.05 of the budget, of the national budget, that goes to mental health. 0.05. So you can actually see there is a reason why we need to talk about mental health and why we need to keep our health in terms of the side of mental health. We need to keep it safe, because if it blows up, we actually even don't have enough resources to deal with it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for expounding on that. And you've even made me learn. I didn't know so many things. And for sure, this discussion is really, really important. And people need to share this video with as many friends as possible so that people take good care of themselves. Because look at that. I mean, the number of psychiatrists, the number of people handling those who will be mentally distressed. I mean, it's people just need to take good care of their health. Yeah, just like you've mentioned, Mr. Peter. Now, moving forward, we are still having the pandemic in the system. That's the big deal, yeah. And then we are not going to run away until they find vaccines. I'm sure they're trying to tell us, yes, it's there. But by the time it will reach Kenya, who knows? So we just have to find ways in which we are taking good care of ourselves. And just like you've mentioned the impacts, yeah? So how are we going to cope with this? How are we going to cope with the stress that the pandemic has brought for us? And in those various categories, those who lost their jobs, those who are finding themselves in drug addiction because they can't just deal and the stuff. What are they going to what will they do? Because this is why we are here tonight. This is why we want to reach them out tonight, to just let them know that it's not a matter of life and death. This is just like any other infectious disease in the system, and they should just get to deal with it. So I just want you to reach out to them one after another, advising them, telling them what they should do to cope with their stresses this time. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. Actually, in counseling psychology, we don't advise, we counsel. We counsel and we guide. But it's okay, you're learning. I would want us to go first we go through the early warning. There are signs.
Okay.
Because we might be talking here, and there are those signs also in us before we go to the coping mechanism. Because like now, probably you'll see you'll find people who have lost, who have gone under bereavement. You will find people who have gone under isolation.
Please, that is very, very important, because even me, Millicent, I might be mentally distressed and I don't know. So please tell us the
probably.
Maybe I could be in my own ways and I just didn't notice. So help me know. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're very much welcome. You see, when you talk about people who have gone through bereavement, they lost their beloved ones. We talked about people who have gone through isolation. You see, when people were suspected to have COVID or were traveling to their country or going to another county, you are put aside. You're calling that quarantine. So that is isolation. People who lost their income, fear of unknown. Actually, fear of unknown has taken up really, really badly, and it is affecting so many people badly. All these are triggers of mental health. They are triggering something in you. When you bury a beloved one and it is time for COVID, it triggers something in you negatively towards mental health. So let us look at the early warnings or the signs. You see, like this time and after this time, people are eating or sleeping too much or too little. There are people who will sleep too much because we're talking about worry, fear of unknown, loss of income. You don't know what tomorrow holds for you. Okay, so you find people are sleeping too much. Others are eating too much, or the vice versa. Okay, others are sleeping just a little sleep. Mtu amelala 2 hours, ameamka. You started worrying. So that is a sign that there is something affecting your mental health. So, there is pulling away from people and usual activities. When you talk to so many people, even as the year was starting, they will say, we want to remove, there are people that I don't associate with, there are people who cannot help you. You actually don't know what they are going through. But now you want to isolate yourself by putting away from people. That is another early sign. You have issues with your mental health. Though it is not that big, but it is affecting your mental health in a certain way. That's how. There is having low or no energy. So feeling like nothing matters. Umefika mwisho. Even if you're given a task today, you don't have that energy. You're feeling low. Okay. And you feel like nothing matters anymore. Sijali. I don't care. So again, that is a sign. Having unexplained aches and pain. Unexplained aches and pain. Feeling helpless and hopeless. Like now, you saw people losing their jobs. You're looking at your family, you don't know what they are going to eat, how they are going to go back to school and everything. Sometimes, especially men, people feel hopeless and helpless. And that also affects the kids, who in return, they also feel hopeless and helpless. When your father is hopeless and helpless, obviously, how are you going to be so positive? You're also going to be affected. You see how it is triggering down into the family system. Having unexplained X, that's what we've talked about. We have talked about also feeling helpless. Smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual. Smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual. This was a person probably who was taking one beer, a very responsible man goes to a bar, takes one beer or two, and goes home. Now this person does not come home, because again, whatever we're talking about, all these early signs, they are also in the wife. Therefore, is also carrying those signs. The wife wants to be left alone. She feels isolated and hopeless. So the husband also wants to be isolated, feels the same. So that man runs into the bar. Okay. Feeling unusually confused, forgetful, on edge, angry, upset, worried, or scared. Confused. This confusion that comes from parents goes to the children. Remember, as we talk about these parents, some of them are professionals. Some of them are teachers who are supposed to handle our children from phone. Have we done anything to help the teachers cope with their situation so that they can cope with our children? No. Okay. So when you look at this issue of confusion, anger, upset, this feeling, when you look at it very well, with what has happened, especially from the day when the schools the school opened, you can actually look at it from the mainstream media. It's not something that is academic or something that needs research. It's something that can be observed from the media, the mainstream media. We have a guy who is in the university who murdered the whole family in central Kenya. You see, killing by stabbing, hitting, stabbing, and this is a person who was angry. This is a person who we can say that he had issues with the mental health that were not taken care of. And this is just an example of what people are going through. And as I said earlier, the next epidemic that is going to come to Kenya after now the coronavirus is the mental health. And it is everywhere. Another thing that happens again from that anger and everything, a student stabbing two teachers in Kisii just because they were asked to kneel down. You are late, kneel down. And these students are from the word go. This student is carrying a knife and stabs the first teacher, the second teacher. Remember, as we talk, the teachers, nobody debriefed them. Nobody took them to counseling because they are also parents where they are, and nobody also dealt with them. So they are coming to school. They might also have anger issues that they don't know. Okay. This student also maybe comes from a family that also have issues. What happens? We see him stabbing two teachers. And when you stab two teachers, what happens? It becomes very, very dangerous. Okay. Now that becomes a police case. Okay. Again, the police were working the whole time, all this time. Some of them have anger, some of them have issues also. Another case was a student that I believe that was yesterday, chasing the deputy head teacher using a panga. Why? Just because he wanted a new exercise book, which he was not given. And then he had to chase somebody with a panga. So when you look at all that, you see actually there is a problem in Kenya and with our students. They just went back to school after all this epidemic. Today, when you look at the parents, today there is a there is a hike in school fees. There is a hike in school fees, like the parents now are complaining, like a place like Upper Hill. They were complaining because the school fees was actually hiked. They are saying that there's 21,000 more that they were asked to pay. They're also saying that a motivation fee is at 2,000 per student, 2,000 Kenya shillings per student that they must pay. That brings what? Anxiety. It brings anger. It brings confusion among the parents. So we can see actually from where we are standing, there are issues. Are we together? So we are looking at the early signs, and you can see from school and from outside, you can see what is happening. If they even try to get into a matatu, you'll see that people have issues with fares, how they're operating. People have issues. And the mental health issue is actually becoming a problem that needs to be tackled and dealt with early enough. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. And thank you so much for that, for clarifying the kind of signs and everything. I think that was so great, Mr. Peter. And I've really learned a lot. I just don't want to relate with me because nowadays I sleep less. I am not mentally distressed. Anyway, I just want to.
Probably I can add a few more
Oh yeah,
on the
sure.
signs.
All
Yes, I
right.
was just explaining some that can bring from. Also, the issue of yelling, fighting with family and friends, yelling,
Mm.
because now you're back at your workplace. The boss is yelling at you. The boss has issues with COVID-19 and the mental health issue. When you come back, you are yelling at your children and your husband. So, the teacher also goes the same issue. So the issue of yelling, fighting with family and friends. These are close people. We're talking about your family and your friends. Experiencing severe mood swings that cause problems in relationships. Experiencing severe mood swings. Leo uko hivi, saa zingine uko hivi, even at workplace. And these mood swings will also go a long way even where? Even at school. So, the teacher has mood swings, the students have mood swings. The watchman has mood swings, the matron has mood swings. The cook has mood swings. So it actually affects everybody in school, in that school. Having persistent thought, it cannot get better. We've talked about thoughts. Because everything is going bad, and people are wondering, are this going to change? So the persistent thought that things are not going to get better. That is also an issue, because you said you have to protect your mind. You have to protect the way you are thinking. Okay. Hearing voices or believing what is not true, because some people believe what is not true about them, about even the situation, because the fact that you are able to pay all your bills before the pandemic, and now it becomes a little difficult. You have to understand that these things actually affected you, but you are doing better before. It's only the pandemic and also the issues. But now putting it in your head, even hearing voices at night, that vitu zitakuwa ngumu kuliko vile ziko, it becomes now a mental health issue. Thinking of harming yourself or others. Now you started with stress, but it's becoming an issue. You're thinking of harming yourself and harming others. So look at what is happening within the country. People are harming each other. People are thinking of harming another person because they don't see the same value that you had. That is a mental. That is an indicator that you have an issue. The mental health. Inability to perform daily tasks. That is like taking care of your kids or getting to work or school. Simple tasks. Homework becomes an issue. Even like the example that I've given, even people going to school on time becomes an issue. You're told to kneel down, and because you have issues, then you go around stabbing the teachers. So it is actually a whole rounded thing. Asante.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. I see our viewers are having so many comments at the comment section. Director, let me just read a few before we proceed with our show. Kevin Amzili saying, I'm tuned in Kenya. Thank you so much, Kevin. Kevin again is tuned from Nairobi. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, Kevin again. Much welcome, our guests. Wow. Our guest is on fire. I mean, uh, Alex Onsase. Thank you so much, Alex. Happy New Year, Alex. Happy New Year 2021. Ready to listen to this healthy talk, and I hope you are enjoying it. Thank you, Alex. Next, Meshak Wachuri saying tune. Thank you, Meshak. Grace Wamadai saying tuned in. Thank you, Gracie. We are having Two-wheeler there is saying he's listening. Yes, thank you for listening. And next we are having director, please next. Okay, Kevin. I'm following carefully. Thanks so much, Alternative Voice, for this recommendable show to our younger people. Yeah, this one for sure, everyone needs it. Yeah. And I hope people are sharing this link to as many friends as possible because people need to know this. Just like our guest is saying, the next after pandemic is mental distress pandemic. Lumumba Felix Amilo, it's been so long. Thrills to see you briefly today. Thank you, Felix. Thank you. Alex Onsase, Mr. Ngure, niko na swali. Kuna siku nilikatia dem akaniambia yeye ni bipolar. Siku shikanisha hii inamaanisha nini and is it good or bad? Hata mimi sijui ni nini. All right. Okay, maybe the guest knows. He's a psychologist, professional psychologist. Collins J. Omondi, hey, hapo kwa kulala sana. Collins amepatikana. Anyway, Dalvin Bobo, Happy New Year, Millie, Happy New Year, and Ngush, my trainer. Oh wow, awesome motivational speaker. Thank you, Dalvin. Yeah. Benedict Maunu is saying tune in, Prof. Wow. Thank you. And we are having who next? Director. Vincent Kamau. Hello, Mr. Guest. Awesome trainer. Wow. Ni mimi tu ndio ujani train kumbe. All right. We are having Cleophas Oluoch having a question. What are some signs of mentally disturbed person? Wow. Hii swali iliulizwa kitambo and I hope right now you know Cleophas. Kama unakonga tu nalalalala sana, there is something that is wrong with you. Liz Kuya, congrats, good. I like the conversation. It's timely. Thank you so much, Liz. Hata mimi nimependa hii conversation. Grace again, she's saying, she's asking, could we classify being tired as mental challenge? Because mostly it starts from being tired. Yeah, the guest said that. Maybe he will just expound, but he said for sure, just being not too, but saa zingine mwili huchoka, but sasa saa zingine it's just too much, which defines that you are distressed. And Meshak Wachuri is saying, at times I also have mood swings. Is it maniac disorder? Anyway, okay. Mood swings, but pia kuna zingine zenye kuanga tu hata kama si pandemic. Meshak. Anyway, JL Empire, Happy New Year, JL. Thank you so much. I love this show. Mr. Ngure explained so well. My quiz is, what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Yeah, I think that's a good question. Guest noted that. Vincent Kamau, the talk is lit. Thanks for the show. Thank you so much, Vincent. And another one, we are having who? Director Kevin. Happy New Year, Millicent OCHIENG, and our guest, Peter Ngure. You are looking so amazing. Thanks for this show. It is it's time now to learn, relearn, and unlearn. We are not unlearning. We are just learning and relearning and relearning and relearning. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Who next? Dawn. All right. Thank you so much for that, Director. And Mr. Peter, maybe if you could just mention a few things from the questions we've read from our viewers tonight before going further to now maybe talking about how to cope. And there are those who are feeling stressed in different ways. So maybe you'll just tell them in those particular ways that they are stressed in. I mean, not so generally. Yeah. So maybe we can start with this one for Alex, Mr. Peter.
Kuna siku nilikatia dem akaniambia yeye ni bipolar. Asante. Thank you, Alex, for that question. When you talk about bipolar, we first got to talk about characteristic traits. There is a way mtu wako characteristic traits zake ziko sawa. For example, mimi kama mimi I'm a sanguine, I'm a sanguine choleric. Okay, kuna mtu mwingine akona characteristic trait fulani, the way they can be defined or classified. So when you talk about a bipolar, this is a very good question, because this is a person who understands herself. Because actually understanding yourself becomes the first thing of mental health wellness. Okay, kuna watu wengi wajielewi hata wajijui. So yeye anajijua. This girl understands that akona bipolar. Bipolar means that akona some characteristic traits that zinaweza kuja baadaye ambazo maybe hutapenda kidogo. Na amejielewa na kwa upande mbili. When like even when people are fighting, even in a house, you'll hear a husband and a wife telling the wife, "Unijui," and they have been together even for 20 years. Unijui vizuri, wachana na mimi. It means there is something that I know about myself that you actually don't know. So please, I don't want you to know through. You don't have to know it through you. Okay, sawa sawa. So ni kama kuna double characteristic traits. Na najua vizuri. Are we together? Some people will say that a bipolar ni wazimu, but once you go into further training, you will understand that there are things that they can be dealt with through trainings and through exposure. Because once you understand that I have a problem with emotions, you can actually explain. You can tell somebody, up to this point, let us not talk about that, because I'm not comfortable. So this comes through trainings. And I know my friend Liz Kuya is listening, and we train together. She can actually add even more to the notes here. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And then there was another question.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
When you talk about this is post, it means it's after a certain stress, a stress disorder. For example, if today you are in a relationship or somebody beats you up, or for example you pass through somewhere and as people rough you up with a gun, they steal from you. Every time you pass there, or you see people who are dressed like people who stole from you, you will actually have some fears. You'll have something running into you, like that place is not safe, or people who are putting on such like clothes, they are thieves. This comes because after you've gone through that stress, something will come it will always be running in your mind. It will happen. Like a person who has gone through maybe a case of rape, it will also always be running through the mind. So this is post-stress disorder. Yes, you have gone through the normal stress, but there is something in your mind that keeps on lingering. Okay. So if you go to town today, if I go to town today, let me use my example, and I'm putting on my yellow jersey, and I've gone to town, and I pass a woman carrying a bag, but when that woman sees me, holds the bag dearly and wants to run away from me, it might be stress disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah,
why? Because it means that person went through an ordeal that is still affecting her. Sawa. Don't say it. No, there is something that is affecting that person. But with time, it will come and end.
Yeah. Well explained. Thank you so much for that. And now moving forward to like how to cope, we
Yes.
just want to tell them.
Yes,
Thank you
I would
so
want to
much
come to coping.
for this question. You can just yeah, we've answered empire.
You've answered.
I mean, we've answered
Now I would
this.
want to. Okay, I would want to go to, before I go to coping. I would want to finish with with coping. I would want to do fast, because we've only gone to the effects and everything. Why don't we talk about mental health wellness? When we talk about positive health, positive mental health, what does it do when you have a positive mental health?
Yeah.
Because actually we need it at our places of work, at home, everywhere. We need to have that positive mental health.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go
Does it
ahead.
have
Go
a
ahead.
benefit?
Yeah.
So positive mental health is a positive thing. It actually allows you to do a lot of things. One of the things, it allows you to cope with stress. When you see you're not able to cope with stress, it means that actually there is a problem. So coping with the stress is actually something that you need to undergo. It is actually a life skills training that you need to undergo to make sure when your mental health is intact, you are well. It means that you're able to cope with stress. Because get this, life has its own challenges. It has its own challenges. So there will be stresses that are either positive or negative. When a stress is positive, we call it eustress, but it's still stress. Okay, like now, if you want to build a house, you need to save, you need to have everything in order for you to build a house. That is a positive stress. There is what we call the negative stress, which is distress. There is stress on daily basis. When you go to your work, there is performance, there is everything. That is what we call, again, what? That is stress. So your ability to deal with stress is directly relational to what? To the mental health wellness. Something else, people who, in terms of health, they are doing very well in terms of mental health. They're able to cope with emotions positively. They're able to cope with emotions positively. Now you can see, if you're talking about people attacking their teachers, they have an issue with the emotions. They have an issue there, how they are dealing with their stress, because everybody has stress. So inability to deal with emotions positively becomes a problem. But when you have in terms of mental health, when you're doing well, then you're able to, because again, emotions will come at any given point. So some emotions are very good. You've been engaged, sawa, you bought a house, ama uliwacha kwa town ukapigia tu magoti. So many things comes. Sawa. You also make good decisions. In terms of decision making, you make very good decisions, sound decisions, proper decision making skills. You actually know what you are doing. You know your challenge. You know your choices, and you know the consequences and how you choose how you choose in terms of making decisions. Also, you are very productive. And productivity, you're talking at the workplace, you're talking at home, we're talking at school. You are very, very productive. Okay, because there is nothing that is bothering you in your mind. Also, positive contribution to your community. Positive contribution to your community. You look in your community. You look at the issues to do the development. I saw, like in Madare slums, I saw there are people that I work with, like a guy called Jacob Omondi. He's able to bring the kids together and do a Bible class, do football, do acting classes, do cooking classes, do something with the kids for all those months. Because again, they are coming from places where there are issues that are happening. So at that given point, when you're contributing positively to your community, when you look at your mind, you can actually say something is happening in your mind that is positive. You are well. In terms of creative and critical thinking skills, when you are thinking, you have to think. You are thinking critically, objectively, critical and creatively. When you talk about creative thinking, is ability to think outside the box. And we're talking about critical thinking. It's very, very simple skills. of ability to look at the consequences. Yes, I'm going to do this, but what are the consequences? Okay. Another thing is ability to empathize. Empathy is one thing that is so good, so good. When you have ability to empathize, trying to feel the way that the other person is feeling, trying to put on their shoes, try to imagine out of a PTA, this person was working, today he has no job. He has a wife to feed, he has a child to feed, and now he has not been working all the whole period of time, and now he needs to take the kids back to school. He needs to pay school fees, and he needs to buy books and everything. Look at that. Are you able to empathize and feel the way the other person is feeling? Okay. So that is it. So we are looking at positive mental health and what it allows people to do. So actually, you can check whether you are there.
Yeah. Yeah. That is now positive mental health. I actually didn't know that there is something like that. Thank you so much. You've made me know a lot of things. I'm really happy about that. Oh, Kevin, I have a question. In this case, you come across some, I have a question. In case you come across someone who is going through mental health challenges and maybe the cause was triggered as a result of COVID-19, how can you help in handling such a person, and maybe you do not have proficiency skills in counseling and psychology? I think that's one of the areas that the guest is going to deal with also, right? Speaking about now how to cope. Now,
Yes.
let's just go on there, because I'm sure now our viewers want to know how we are going to just get ourselves out of this whole situation where when you are we are not psychologists, but we really want to help these guys and everything and the stuff. So just let us know now, Mr. Peter.
Thank you so much. So we're going to look at ways to maintain positive mental health, because there are people who don't have an issue, their mental health, but how are we going to maintain so that after the epidemic, we all don't fall there? One of the things is getting professional help, as I was talking about. We have counselors, we have counselors all around. It's only that we shy away from actually getting help. You know, and you understand that something is not okay, but as Kenyans, it becomes so difficult for you to go to a counselor.
Yeah.
People look at it as they're going to judge me, wataenda kuniambia sijui nini. No, go get professional help. Go visit a counselor.
Very, very important.
Talk yourself out.
It's just like physical health, whereby you are feeling headache and you have to see that physician. So why would people not see the people in charge when they are mentally, the counselors, sorry, when they are mentally disturbed and everything? Yeah, you are right.
So I would really encourage people to see the counselors. We have enough counselors in the country. It's only that people don't visit them. We have enough counselors. People don't take that service. And afterwards, by the time now you want to take that service, it becomes now, it is in another level. So it is very, very important. You just assess yourself and you see there is an issue. That will be very, very important. Staying positive no matter the situation. This is one thing that most of us are going through a lot right now. We dress up, we do everything, but almost everybody has an issue. So it is very important for us to stay positive no matter how hard the situation is. Is that making sense? Maybe today I don't have a job, you don't have a job, somebody else doesn't have a job. If you don't stay positive, because positivity actually helps even the immune system and everything. Because you are thinking right. Yeah? You're looking at what you can handle and what you cannot handle. If today you want 10,000 from me and I cannot even afford 1,000, that should not give me sleepless nights, because actually I don't have. If I had, I would have actually helped you. So, sawa.
Yeah.
So somebody was saying that you cannot plan your life with somebody's money. I need money urgently. No, we are in a situation now that everybody is affected in one way or the other.
And
It's for us to
yeah.
stay positive. For us to stay positive. We encourage people to sleep well enough. Sleep well enough. Because when you don't sleep well enough, even performance, even the next day becomes a problem. Even your thinking will go down, your reasoning will go down. In case you get something to do, even your performance will go down. So we encourage people to sleep well enough. We're not telling people to oversleep so that you wake up next day at 1. You'll still have the same problems. Now sleep well so that when you get something to do, you can be able to do it well. Yeah. Support and help others also. For us to work well, and for us, we need to support others. We had talked about empathy. You support me, I support you. That is how we can be able to go through this epidemic together. That's how we can be able to maintain our positive mental health when we support each other. Without supporting each other, there is a problem. It's not a matter of pointing at ule alikuwa anakulaga samaki, nowadays amelemewa. No, it's a matter of helping each other so that we can all make sure that we come out of the epidemic together and strong. Okay. Developing coping skills. You need to develop coping skills. Most of the people don't know how to cope. When situation goes from bad to worse, they don't know how to cope. We need to develop coping skills. And for this one, I would encourage people to go through life skills training. I do life skills training with the life skills promoters. It's very, very important for people to go through life skills training so that they are able to have those coping skills, resilience when things are hard. Asawa, being able to cope with emotions, being able to be aware of yourself, things to do like self-awareness is very, very important so that you have coping skills. Things will not go the way you want them to go all the time. Sometimes they go wrong, and sometimes they go very, very, very wrong. Okay, you can have goals, you can write all the goals, and it reaches a point that you have not achieved even one of the goals. You are not even near to achieve even one of the goals that you've written. Just hope, keep faith, and learn to have what you're calling what? Coping.
Yeah.
Coping skills.
Instead of depression and the stuff.
Yes, because if you don't have coping skills, you're going to end up in stress. Then it's going to advance into depression. Then you are going to be among the people that you're talking about that need psychiatrists. Okay. Connecting with others. Don't stay alone. Especially men, they are staying at home. Don't stay alone. Don't stay alone. Go connect with others. They might have an idea that will help you. You might go somewhere that the skill is needed. Talk to people. Tell them what you are going through. And maybe I don't have a job right now, or I can do this given a chance. Connect with people. If you stay alone, the situation will still be there alone with you. So it's very, very important to people to connect with others. Sawa. What was nyumbani?
Yeah.
Something else that I would want to look at is the teachers who are going back to school. Just as we call in the coping mechanism, the teachers were going back to school, the students were going back to school. There was no proper debriefing. Debriefing in terms of, it's like a counseling support before they go back to school, so that they are prepared to go and cope with a new situation. They are prepared to come from what they have been doing all these months. They were free. They were roaming the community, especially the young people. They were drinking. Now they have to go back to college. They have to go back to high school. Some of them are doing class 7, class 8. It is not going to be the same. Proper debriefing was not done. So proper debriefing of teachers, as they are also affected. And especially I'm talking about the teachers because they are going to handle all these students. In a normal primary school in Kenya, especially the government, you will find that a teacher is dealing with 60, 70 students. Imagine, for example, if even 30 students are affected from where they come from. They have issues. And this is one teacher. You don't support that teacher, you don't brief that teacher, there's going to be a problem. Because again, teacher will pass, they will only be passing anger each other. And that is why we are seeing that people are killing each other. You're seeing that people are not, they don't go back to school. And the teachers are just there passing time because nobody briefed them. And yet, they have issues also from where they are coming from. Also, proper debriefing of students. Proper debriefing of students. If these students were debriefed earlier, you could actually even have known that these students are carrying even knives when they are coming to school. Because if you're carrying a knife from home, actually that is an issue that you came with that issue from home. So these people, when they come into school, they should go through personal development sessions, like even the first 2 days, to say what they saw, what they had, what traumatized them. If somebody is dealing with the stress, they're given counselors in the school to support them. And also the community, every community has counselors that can support the school even from the hospitals, so that as a community, we're able to have a healthy school and a healthy community. So counselors, and we're talking about, in counseling, we talk about that debriefing and supervision. And that is very, very important. Imagine this person probably from the time the schools were closed, I've been fending myself, I've been stealing, and now I'm coming back to school. The teacher is telling me that I cannot continue, that now I'm a kid, and Kwamta, people think that I'm the chief. They actually call me the big man, Kwamta. When I come back to school, you're calling me a kid. I already have issues with that. So unaona kutakuwa na panga mahali. So proper debriefing for teachers, and that needs to be supported by actually any organization that is listening in the community to make sure that they avail counselors to deal with issues in school. I know the counselors in school might not be enough, but there are enough counselors that can be engaged to deal with the issues in school. Okay, and even for parents. So if we debrief parents, we do students, and we do teachers, then you're going to have a better community. So we were saying, as I finish, well-being is a positive outcome that is meaningful for people and for many sectors of the society. So the whole thing is about well-being, mental well-being. And that is, we cannot perform in any sector of the society if our people are affected emotionally, mentally, and everything is not working. So all the sectors depend on the mental well-being of each person. The way we go to the gyms to exercise our muscles, we must also take the mental wellness as something that is so important. Sawa sawa. Asante.
Thank you so much. This was really a very wonderful session, because, I mean, even me, I've learned a lot, leave alone I don't know about our viewers, but I'm very sure they've really learned, and they've really gained a lot. The insights tonight, for sure, Mr. Peter, they are amazing, and they were every single word was all we needed to know to start this year, because we are not going to run away from the pandemic. I mean, it's here, and we just have to deal with it. The positivity you've talked about, just I mean, we needed that. And guys, I hope you've really learned a lot from our trainer tonight. And I hope you are going to share this with as many youths as possible, with so many parents out there, so that they educate their kids on the same. And I hope you now, you are able to handle somebody with mental distress, and we are going to come out of the pandemic successful. I mean, all of us, because as Mr. Peter is saying, I mean, let's just help each other so that we come out of the pandemic strong, like, and just, I mean, without any problems like mental health and the stuff. Yeah, we don't want to end up in Madhare anyway. So guys, share this video with as many friends as possible. It's having a lot of content, and a lot of people out there need to learn and needs to know about this. So for me, our guest tonight, I just want to say thank you so much. I've really learned a lot, for sure, and our viewers, I'm sure they've learned a lot from the comments, from how they are saying it. They are great, and they are good to go for the for the for the day, for the night, for the year. Yeah. So
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you so much, and I'll talk to our people, and we will invite you to our show again to tell us more, because from time to time we really need to check ourselves. We really need to see how we are going, so that we don't end up in some mental problems. Yeah, because keeping fit is like an exercise. You do some exercise today, tomorrow, the following day, if you stop doing, your body returns back again to how it was before. So for me, I have to say thank you so much, and to the Alternative Voice team, thank you so much for organizing this wonderful show. To our viewers, I'm sure they've enjoyed it from the start to the end. And guys, just like I said earlier, we have organized very many beautiful and exciting shows for you guys. Stay tuned and tell your friends to subscribe to the Alternative Voice YouTube channel, to like our pages on our page on Facebook, because you don't want to miss our shows, guys. Every Thursday at 8 p.m. East African time, we do this, and you are going to enjoy our shows. So thank you so much. I just want you to say goodbye to our viewers tonight, Mr. Peter. And yeah, because we've come to the end of this show. It was supposed to be brief, but the insights were just amazing, and I had to take it past time. So thank you so much. Just say goodbye to them, and yeah. Maybe your last word.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Take care, and
Yeah.
God bless you too. Don't forget about spirituality also as a coping mechanism. Thank you.
Prayers
And
is very, very important. Yeah. So, guys, thank you. That was our awesome show. That was our first show this year, and we are really looking forward to bringing you very, very exciting shows. So stay tuned, guys. Bye. We love you as the Alternative Voice.